Did you hear that? She texted Travis and told him to get his over here. I want to just mention too that we had a local problem recently, and I was so impressed that Suzanne and Mary came and spent a couple hours with our neighborhood trying to help us resolve that issue. Their own time, it's just, they're very responsive. They do a good job. While we're waiting for Travis, Judy Wallick, as I mentioned earlier, couldn't be here tonight, and I know it's wonderful when people speak of themselves, but since she couldn't be here, she did send me her written statement, and I'll try to do it justice. Most of her adult life, Judy's been a hardworking single mom, which stimulated her entrepreneurial spirit and can-do attitude. She admits she's a tried and true believer in the adage, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. She's made lots. Raised in suburban New York, she's the only daughter of lifelong Republicans. As a matter of fact, her dad was a freshman at Dartmouth until Christmas recess in 1941, when along with most of his class, he and his 3 siblings enlisted in the armed forces. His mother died during the war. In 1948, Judy's grandfather married Westray Battle Boyce, who was assistant to General Eisenhower. That's a woman, incidentally, Westray Battle Boyce. And subsequently, she was the head of the Women's Army Corps during World War II. She had a large influence on Judy's life. Judy was privileged to attend Great Public High School, graduate from college, and study her 3rd year abroad in France. She attended graduate school in New York City. Education's always been very important to her family. Judy began her professional career as an executive assistant at a venture capital firm in New York, where she was a registered representative of the New York Stock Exchange and National Association of Security Dealers. They invested in one of the first sodas containing fruit juice, taxi cabs, and biotech. This is where Judy learned about the excitement of starting and growing small businesses. The first of her 3 children were born when she was 24. A stay-at-home mom, Judy dabbled in home business, including smart tee balls, or smart balls, decorated golf balls, including a Lucille ball, a Christmas ball, a football, a fancy dress ball. She had 70 punny balls all in that line. And she continued this during the 3 years prior to her divorce. She and her 3 kids moved to Vermont in 1991, where Judy worked at Turtle Fur Company. She was the PR advertising manager of the headwear manufacturer. Then she moonlighted as an assistant editor at the Stowe Reporter, where she wrote and edited articles for the award-winning newspaper. At Turtle Fur, she became aware of the solid waste problem, excuse me while I turn the page, from their non-biodegradable scraps, and she received a grant from the Vermont Agency of Natural Resources that resulted in a patent to physically recycle the fleece. Subsequently, she worked as a marketing coordinator at a CPA and business consulting firm, consistently ranked in the top 15 in New England. So let's see. Throughout, Judy made time for volunteering to balance her workaday life with giving back to the community and learning more about the world, including service as past director of Stowe Farm, Inc. for landmark preservation, past Vermont governor appointee to Commission on Employment of People with Disabilities, past director of the Vermont chapter of American Heart Association, former mentor at Burlington, Vermont City Arts Foster Arts Program. This goes on, she's done a lot. Former member of Association of Accounting, Marketing, Communications Subcommittee, wish granter for Make-A-Wish Foundation, a board member of Headrest, Inc., which Mike will know about, in Lebanon, New Hampshire, a small substance abuse treatment facility, Mascoma Valley Neighborhood Team Leader, Organizing for America, steering committee at Axe Hunt Honduras, which is Americans Caring, Teaching, Sharing, Inc. At this point, having retired from her career in marketing and public relations, she lives in Grafton, New Hampshire, on a 225-year-old farm with her fiancé, Hank Frothingham. They have 8 grown children. The youngest is 32, 4 grandchildren, 2 dogs, and a cat. Friendly dogs, I'm sure. She continues working on a plan to turn the farm into a working landscape. Last year, she raised over 100 broiler chickens. Hank has vetoed future chickens. Other interests include cooking, reading, learning Spanish, geology, playing bridge, and Netflix. Now she has a little statement here. The reason that I am a candidate for New Hampshire House of Representatives is that we can do better. I was shocked by the incivility and backslide during the 2010 general court. I do not want to return to those days of drastic spending cuts, not cuts of fat, but cuts of muscle. I want to make a sustainably stronger and prosperous New Hampshire. As my Lebanon friend said, so much better than I can, I agree that the role of appropriate, cost-effective, and efficient government is to ensure public safety and necessary services for New Hampshire citizens, maintain and improve the quality of our environment, and secure the future of our children and families through access to affordable health care, quality education, good jobs, and a vibrant economy. We need state representatives who believe in serving their constituents and all people of New Hampshire. These concerns must come before political agendas. Last but not least, by bringing common sense to Concord with an open mind, I want to provide practical solutions to the real problems facing our great state. I will be a diligent public servant who brings experiences derived from my community service, as well as my expertise gleaned from my professional work. The only female candidate in our district and the only candidate who has raised a family, I will fight for full gender equality under law, be it economic or healthcare access or reproductive rights. It's important that voters in my district know that 2 of our 4 candidates for our 2 seats are free state libertarians with extreme agendas and obstructive methods of publicizing their political experiment. Please spread the word.